This conference will now be recorded.
Fine. Let me go and open the previous class notepad. Let me go and open the class notes. Now, see here, guys. In the previous class, we discussed about the forms. We discussed about what is meant by forms, when to use it, and how to create a form. Also discussed about the what the form contains, what the data cards, what is meant by data card we discussed, and also what the data card will contains. Data card will contains 4 different controls. These are the controls. And also we discussed about the form properties. And then we discussed about the operators, and then also we discussed about the functions. And now in today's session, we are going to discuss about the form validation skills. So from today onwards, again we'll go and discuss about the forms. In the forms, what we'll discuss now in today's session is we'll discuss about the validations, that is field validations, and also the second one is form validations. So in order to go and discuss it, let me go and open one new notepad. Let me go and open one notepad. Let me keep here, or let me do one thing instead of keeping it. Let me go and open one new notepad. Let me go to this. Let me go and open one notepad. Fine. Now try to understand. Now in today's session, we are going to discuss about the validations. Now there are two types of validations here, guys. One is field validations. Second one is form validations. Now what is this field validations and what is this form validations? Now see, let me go and open the Power Apps. Let me explain you what is this field validations and form validations. Let me go and open the Power Apps. Let me open this app. Currently we are working with this A/B trainings. Let me go and open it. And try to understand. We know that what is meant by forms. We know that what is a form, what is the definition of it, and when to go and use the forms. And also we discussed about what the form contains. And also these are called as fields. This is the form I'm having, and in the form I'm having the fields. Employee name is one field, name is one field, or we'll call it as a data card. Mobile is another field, or we'll call it as a data card. Email is one data card. Course is one data card. Education is one data card. So these are called as fields, or we'll call it as data cards, guys. Now see, employee name is one data, name is one data card, mobile is one data card. So these are the data cards, or we'll call it as fields. Now first in today's session we'll discuss about what here is. We'll discuss about the field validations. Fields are also called as what? Data cards. Fields are also called as what? Data cards. So first we'll discuss about what type of validations we are able to perform on the fields. So these are called as fields. All these, name, mobile, email, course, education, these are called as fields. So what type of validations we are able to perform on the fields, we'll discuss now. And then once after completion of it, we'll discuss about the form validations. This is my form, complete form. Now what type of validations we are able to perform on the forms, we'll discuss in the next class. So first let me go and discuss about what? Field validations. Now in order to go and work with the field validations, field validations. Now I'm creating one list here, guys. This is the list I'm creating in the SharePoint. So this, the list name is employees is the list. Employees is the list, and this is the list already I created in my SharePoint. Let me go and open the SharePoint and let me show you what's the list I created there. So already we know that how to go and create the list, guys. No need to go and show you again. Go to the forms, go to the site called forms. In this site I'm having one list. What that list is? Employees is my list. Now see, in this list I'm having those columns: employee number column, employee name column, mobile number, email id, job column, And also I'm having few more columns called hire date, salary, age column, department number column, and also department name column. These are the different types of columns that are available in this. There is one more column called justification column, experience column, and job column. These are the different types of columns that are available in this list. Guess what's my list name? My list name is employees is my list. In this list, these are the different types of columns. What columns is there is? These are the columns I'm having. These are the columns. List of columns is there in this list. And what is the data type of those columns? Now see, employee ID is required column. I'm keeping here star. It is required. It is mandatory field. Employee name is also mandatory field. And also if you observe employee ID, it is required field, and also it is unique. Employee IDs must and should be unique. And few next column is mobile column, single line of text, email, single line of text, job column, single line of text, hire date, it is a date and time column, salary, currency data type, minimum salary is 10,000 and maximum salary is 30,000. So what values I am able to insert into the salary column means the salaries greater than 10,000 and less than 3 lakhs. These are the salaries I'm able to insert. And next column is age column. It is single line of text. Next one is department number column, choice. Department name column, single line of text. Justification is single line of text. Experience is number column. Experience means what is the experience of the employee. How many years of experience he having. And one more column is date of birth. These are the columns I'm having or fields I'm having in that list. So already I'm having one list here, guys. Now what I will do here is, whatever the form I am having here, this form is not sufficient for me to go and explain the different types of validations. So what I will do here is, I will go and create one new app. I'll go and keep that app name is validations. So what I can do here is, let me go back. Let me go and create one new app, guys. Let me go to the create. Let me go and create one new app. So in order to go and work with the validations, that A/B trainings app is not sufficient for me. So I'm going to create one more new app. The app name I'm keeping here is validations. Validations is the name. And the format I'm keeping here is tablet mode, guys. Select the mode as tablet and click on create. Now I'm creating one new app. The app name I'm keeping here is what? Validations is the app name. Now here I need to go and create one form, guys. So before going to create the form, let me go and keep some header. So add one control, that is text control, text label, keep it here. And let me do some formatting here. Let me change the background color and let me change the font color. Let me increase it to semi bold. Let me keep it as 28. Keep it as like this. Select this one, align it to center. Now see, let me go and keep it as bold. Let me keep it in semi bold itself. Let me change the text. The text I want to change it here is, let me keep it as validations, guys. Now what type of validations I'm performing here now? Field validations. So just copy it. So the header I'm keeping here is what? Field validations. So there are two types of validations, as we know. The first one we are discussing about what? The first one we are going to discuss here is field validations. Now see, now to go and perform the field validations, I need to go and create one form here. Let me go and take one form. Let me go to the insert tab, click on the edit form, select one form, edit form, align this form here, align it. Next, I want to connect to the data, guys. Now see, currently it is not connected to the data. If you see, it is telling that the app is not connected, this form is not connected to the data. I want to connect to the data now. How to connect to the data? On the left side, go and click on what? Data. Now go and click on what? Add data. Now what is my data source? I want to connect to the SharePoint. Select the data source as a SharePoint. Now see, already showing the list name, what site name. What's my site? Forms is my site. Just click on it. Now it will show the list. What is the list is there? Just we created one list called employees. I want to connect to this list. So select the list name as employees and click on connect. Now I am connecting to the SharePoint and the list name is employees. Now I want to connect this list to this form. Now how to connect to the list to the form? Select the form, go to the property called data source. Current it is none. Select the data source as what? Employees is the list. Now see, whenever I select the data source for this form, by default is creating some form, guys. Whatever the fields that are available in this form, in this list, employees list, by taking these fields as a reference, by default Power Apps is creating one form like structure. Now try to understand, there is one column in this form, that is attachments. I want to remove this column, guys. Now how to remove the column? I want to remove this field or a data card. Now how to remove it? Select the form and go to where? Fields. Go to the fields, click on it, and I go to the attachments and click on these three ellipses to click on the remove. I want to remove this attachments data card. Once after removing it, now I want to rearrange the fields in this data card, guys. Now what's my requirement here is, I want to keep the job column in third position. I want to keep the job column in third position. I want to keep the mobile number in the fifth position. I want to rearrange the fields here. How to rearrange the fields? One way is, you can simply drag and drop. One way you can simply drag and drop. Instead of going and drag and drop, select the form, go to the fields. Here, select the job column and drag it wherever if you want to keep. I want to keep it after the employee name column. Now see, job column is there after the employee name column. And email ID column, I want to keep it here, guys. I want to keep the email ID column in place of this, and mobile number, I want to keep it here. So just go and rearrange the fields. Next, hire date, salary, age. Let me do one thing. I want to bring this age column here, and I want to bring this salary column into this place. Let me rearrange those also. Select the form, go to the fields and select the age column and keep it above the salary column. Fine. Now see, I'm rearranging the fields here, guys. So by default is taking the fields in which format, in which order it is there in the form. If you want to rearrange them here in this, you can go and rearrange it here. Now once after rearranging, now see, I want to change the font color and font size, guys, for all these controls. So there are multiple data cards or fields is there. So instead of I'm not able to go for each and every data card, guys. Not able to go for each and every one. I'm not able to change it. It will take some lot of time for me not to go and do like this. For each and every data card, I need to go and change it. It will take a lot of time. Now, what is the another way? There is a shortcut where you can go and change the font style for this data card key and also for the data card values. Now, how to change it is, go to the tree view, select the form, select the form, and go to the properties. Go to the property called layout property. Currently the layout is in vertical. Change it to horizontal, guys. Now see, the form layout is changed to horizontal. Now go and click on the control Z in your system. Click on the control Z. Now when I click on the control Z, now it is going to select, if you observe in the left side, each and every data card. In the employee number data card, it is selecting what? Data card value and data card key. So from each and every data card, it will select the two controls. What are the two controls it is selecting? Data card value and the data card key. Now once after doing this, now I want to change the font size first. So I want to go and change the font size. Select the font size here, click on it, automatically selects here size. Now what the size I want to keep here is 18 is my size. And next, I want to change the font style. Let me go and change the font styles to Patrick Hand. And also I want to change the font weight. Let me go and change the font weight to semi bold or keep it in the bold. Let me increase some size here, 20. Fine. Now see, at a time I'm able to modify all the data card values and also the data card key. I'm able to, what I can do, I'm able to change the font style, I'm able to change the font size, and I'm able to change the font weight. So like this, if you have multiple data cards in the form, if you want to go and change each and every data card, means it will take a lot of time. So there is one shortcut. This is the way how to go and change the font style for all the data card values and also the data card keys. Next, I want to do some change the, I want to keep some background color here, guys, for this form. So select the form and then go to the color property and let me change it. Let me keep the background color like this. So I'm keeping some background color here. I'm keeping some background color. Now this is the form I am creating, guys. Now in this form, already employee number column is what? It is a mandatory column. If you observe here, it is having some mark here, guys. It is mandatory column. Employee name is also mandatory column. Now in this form, I need to go and perform the validations. Now what type of validations I need to go and perform here is, First one, guys, case one. What's the first validation I need to go and perform here is required validation. Now see, make the fields in the make the field is required. Make the field is required in the form. Now try to understand which fields I want to make it as required means mobile number and email ID. Now see, there are two fields is there in this form, guys. What are the two fields is there in this form? One is mobile number. Now see, this mobile number is not a mandatory column in the list. In the list, mobile number is not a mandatory column, but I want to make this mobile number as mandatory in the form here. In the form, I want to make the mobile number as mandatory. Now, how to make the fields as mandatory? So in order to go and make any field, or we'll call it as a data card. Let's call it as a data card. Let's say I want to make this data card, mobile data card as mandatory. Now, how to make it as mandatory? Select the data card, select the data card, and then go to the advanced properties. Go to the advanced properties. By default, all the data cards in the form is locked, guys. All the data cards in the form is locked. So first go and unlock the data card. So select the data card mobile, and go to the advanced property. Go and click on what? Unlock the data card. Now once if I unlock, now go to the property in the left side. Go to the properties pane. In the properties pane, you are able to see one property called required property, guys. You are able to see one property called what? Required. Select this one. Now see, by default is false. Now I want to make it as true. I want to make it as what? True. Now see, whenever I make it as true, now automatically the mobile is what? The mobile data card is required. In the same way, I want to make the email is also mandatory calls. I want to make what? Email is also mandatory. So what I can do first? Select the data card, go to the advanced property, unlock the data card, and then go to the required property. Go and select the required property. By default is false. Make it as true. Make it as what? True. Now see, when I make it as true, automatically the email ID is required. Now it is required field or a data card. Like this, when if you want to make any field in the form is required, you can go and make it as required. So this is my first scenario. This is one type of validation I'm performing. And second validation is, now see here guys, second use case is, now I want to make this experience column, experience field. There is one more field. What's that field I'm having here is experience is another data code is there. Now I want to make this experience as a required. I want to make this experience field as required. When I want to make this field as a required means, you see, make the field is mandatory based on another field. So when I want to make this field as mandatory field means, if the salary is, if you are entering the salary of the employee is greater than 1 lakh, then I want to make the experience is mandatory field. That means if you are entering the salary, if you are entering the salary of the employee is greater than 1 lakh, if it is greater than 1 lakh, then I want to make this field as mandatory. If the salary is less than 1 lakh, I don't want to make this field as mandatory. When I want to make the experience is mandatory, whenever you are entering the salary of the employee is greater than 1 lakh, then only I want to make this field as mandatory. If the salary is less than 1 lakh, I don't want to make this field as mandatory field. So I want to make the field as mandatory based on the another field, based on the salary column values, based on the salary you are entering. Based on that, I want to make this field as mandatory. Now how to make the fields as mandatory based on the another field? Now see, I want to make this field as mandatory when if the salary is greater than 1 lakh. So first of all, what I can do here is go to the salary field, select the data code value. This is the data code value. Select the data code value and copy the name of the data code. Copy this name of this data code value. Copy it and go to the experience. Go to the experience field. Go and unlock it. Unlock the data code first. Now go to the required property. Go to the required property. Now, by default, I don't want to make it as true. By default, I don't want to make it as true. When I want to make it as true, when I want to make this field as true, the value you are entering in the salary data card, what is the name for the salary? This is the name for this. Now see, when I enter this, automatically selecting what? Salary data card. It is highlighting this one. Salary data card dot txt. It is a text value, guys. Dot txt is, if it is, let me go and keep here. I need to go and use one more function. that is value function, guys. Let me remove it. First, let me go and use the value. I shared one video with you regarding the functions. There I discussed about this value function. So what is the use of this value function is, it is used to convert the text values to numerical values. So within the values function, pass this salary data code name, data code value name, dot txt, dot txt. Now the values I am entering into this salaries data code is greater than 1 lakh, is greater than 1 lakh, then only I want to make this field as mandatory. Now see, once after entering this, now just go and save the app and let me play it. Save it first. Now go and play. So by default, why it is not showing the form here means, by default the form is in which mode? I said that by default, what is the form mode? By default, the form mode is edit. I want to make it as new form. Select it, click on save and play it. Now see here guys, here the employee email ID, mobile is mandatory. Now I want to make this experience as mandatory. By default, for now it is not mandatory. When I want to make this as mandatory, if I enter the salary as 1,10,000. Now see, what's the salary I'm entering here? 1,10,000. So salary is greater than 1 lakh. If the salary is greater than 1 lakh, then only I want to make this field as mandatory. Let us say if I pass the salary as 90,000, if I pass the salary as 90,000, now see, this experience field is not required. When it is required, whenever you enter the salary that is greater than 1 lakh, greater than 1 lakh, then only this experience field is required. So I am making this field is required based on the values I am entering in the salary column. So we discussed here how to make directly the field is required and how to make the field is required based on the another field. So this is what, how to go and make the fields are required within the form. And next my requirement here is, try to understand mobile number data code, guys, mobile number field. Now see, I'm having one data code here, that is mobile number. Now what is the data type for this mobile number? If you see, the data type for this mobile number is what? Single line of text. Single line of text is nothing but what? It will allows both the text values and also the numbers case. It will allows text, these data type will allow the text and numbers. But into the mobile number, I want to insert only the numerical values. I don't want to allow the characters. So what's my first requirement here is, try to understand. Use case 3. Case 3. Now see, mobile number column data type is single line of text in the SharePoint list. So single line of text means it allows both text and numbers. So but in the form, the mobile number field needs to allow only numbers. By default, if you see, when I go and play this app, by default in the mobile number, if I enter the numerical values, it allows. If I enter the characters also, it will allows. I don't want to allow the characters. I want to allow only what? I want to only the numerical values. So this is what my first requirement is. So this is what my requirement. Why? Because the mobile number is, it is a numerical data type, numerical values I want to insert. It will allow the text values also. I don't want to allow the text values. I want to allow only numerical values. So this is what my first requirement. This is my first requirement. And what is my second requirement here is, the mobile number must and should be 10 digits. Whatever the mobile number you are going to enter, it must and should be 10 digits. If it is less than 10 digits, I want to throw an error. If it is greater than 10 digits also, I want to throw an error. So these are the two conditions I want to define now, guys. First condition is what? Into the mobile number field, I want to insert only what? Numbers. And next, once after entering the numbers, the next condition is what? Mobile number must and should be 10 digits. If it is less than 10 digits, I want to throw an error. If it is greater than 10 digits also, I want to throw an error. Exactly, the mobile number must and should be how many digits? 10 digits. So let me go and perform this, guys. First, let me go and perform the first condition. What's my first condition? I want to allow only what? Numerical values into the mobile number. So in order to go and perform it, select this, data card mobile. So where it is, let me go and go to here. So this is the mobile. First select the mobile. Already it is unlocked, right? Yes, already is unlocked. Now go and select the error message, guys. Go and select the property for this mobile. What's the property? Error message. Go and select the, not a property, control. This one is called as control. Go and select the control what? Error message. Now see, by default, what's the error message it is keeping? Parent dot error. By default, what's the message? Parent dot error. That means by default, Power Apps will give some error message. This is the default message it's keeping. Now I don't want to go with the default. I don't want to go with the default. I want to keep some message here, guys. I want to keep some error messages here. What is the first requirement here is? First of all, I'm going to use one function, guys. What that function is? Coalesce function. Now what this coalesce function will do means coalesce function is going to return the first non-blank value. Coalesce function is going to return what? First non-blank value. That means first non-empty. Now keep comma, keep comma. Now I'm going to use one if condition here, guys. If whatever the values you are going to enter into the salary data code value, whatever the values you are going to enter into the, go and select the, where it is, not salary, mobile number. Go to the mobile number and select the data code value control. Select this one and copy the name. This is the name for this. Now go to this error message. Now see, if is not match, I'm using one function, guys. Is not match, I'm using one explanatory mark before this. So what is this means? Is not match. If it is not matching, if it is not match, what value? Whatever the value I am going to enter, whatever the value I'm going to enter into this data code value, into this mobile number, it is not matching with the condition. What's my condition? Let me go and define here, guys. Is not matching, I'm going to use one match function here. Match dot multiple digits. I'm going to use one function. What is that? Match dot multiple digits is the function I'm using here, guys. Now try to understand what I'm doing here is simple. Is not matching, whatever the values you are going to enter into this, whatever the values you are going to enter into here, if it is not matching with this multiple digits, is nothing but what? It is one function, guys. What is this multiple digits means? It allows only the numbers. Digits means what? Numbers. If the value are entering here is not matching with the digits, then what? I want to throw an error message. What is the error message I want to throw here now? The error message I want to keep here is only numbers are allowed. Only numbers are allowed. I want to keep some error message. What is that error message? Only numbers are allowed. So just close it. Just close it. So just I'm using one if condition, guys. Now try to understand. Go and play it. Now see, by default is throwing some error. Only numbers are allowed. Now see, when I'm entering some numbers, when I'm entering the numbers, now see, automatically that message is gone. But whenever I enter characters, now see, whenever I enter any characters, it is throwing that message. What is that message? Only numbers are allowed. So whenever I go and insert only the only numbers, it is not throwing any error. But when I go and insert any characters, then it is throwing one error. What is that error? Only numbers are allowed. Okay, when I enter the numbers, it is not throwing any error. That means it is allowing the digits. If I enter any characters, it is throwing one error message. What is that error message? Only numbers are allowed. Now see, when I'm not entering anything, now see, I'm not entering anything in this data code value. In this data code value, I'm not entering anything. Even though if I'm not entering anything, it is throwing the message. What's that message? Error message. Only numbers are allowed. Why? Because I'm not defining the condition there, guys. Now what I can do here is, go to this error message. Now when I want to display this message, I'm telling that when I go and raise this error messages, the values you are entering here is not matching with the multiple digits, then only go and throw. So if it is blank, in this case also I don't want to show the error message. If it is blank, I don't want to show it. So I'm going to add one more condition here, guys. What that condition is blank. I'm going to use one more condition here. Is not blank. Let me do one thing. Let me bring it here. Now see, I'm using one more condition here. Is not blank. So it is not blank. Let me go and use not function here. Is not blank. What is not blank? The value, whatever the value are entering here, data code value. if it is not blank, and the values you are entering in this data card value is multiple digits. When I want to go on through this error messages, if this data card value is not blank, that means if is not blank means there is some value. If it is not blank and also it is not matching with this multiple digits, then only I want to throw this error. When I want to throw this error is if it is not blank and if it is not following this digits, then only I want to go and throw that error message. Now see, just save it and then go and play. Now see, I'm not able to see this error message by default. Now whenever I go and enter some values, some numerical values, it is not throwing any error. Now whenever I go and insert any character, now see I'm inserting one character here. Now whenever I insert any characters, it is throwing that error message. What is that error message? Only numbers are allowed. So into this data card value, into this mobile number, now I'm able to insert only what values? I'm able to insert only numerical values. If it is, I'm not inserting the numerical values. If I'm inserting any characters, now see it is throwing one error. What is that error? Only numbers are allowed. So this is what my first condition is. Okay, I'm able to satisfy my first condition. Now what's my second condition? The mobile number must and should be 10 digits. Now see, I'm entering one mobile number. Let's say enter my mobile number itself, guys. I'm entering my mobile number. Now see currently my how many digits I'm entering here is 10 digits I'm entering. Suppose if I'm entering more than 10 digits, it needs to throw an error. It needs to throw some more error case. If it is less than 10 digits also, I want to throw some error message. So the second condition I want to satisfy here is if mobile number must and should be 10 digits. If it is less than 10 digits, I want to throw an error. If it is greater than 10 digits, here also I want to go and throw an error. So for this, what I can do here is again go to the mobile data card, go and select the error message. Now here I'm going to write one more if condition case. Here I'm going to write what? One more if condition. Now keep comma. Next one more if condition I'm writing if is not blank. Let me go and copy the same thing. Is not blank. So here also I want to satisfy this condition, guys. When I want to throw the error means if it is not blank, then only I want to throw the error. So E is not blank and also the length, whatever the value you are going to enter into this mobile data card, the length of this value, the length must and should be. Let me go and copy this data card value name. Just copy, paste it here. Now see whatever I am going to enter here, whatever the value I am going to enter into this mobile data card, that value length must and should be 10, guys. If it is not equals to 10, the value are going to enter into this data card value. If it is not equals to 10 and it is not blank, if it is not blank, then what I want to do? I want to throw an error message. What is that error message I want to throw now? Mobile number must and should be mobile number must be 10 digits. Now see simple. I'm doing what here? Just I am using one len function, length function. What this length function is going to do? It is going to check the value you are going to enter into the mobile data card. The length of the value you are entering is 10 digits or not. If it is equals to 10, the length is equals to 10. No need to go and throw the any error message. If it is not equals to 10, then I want to throw this error message. Mobile number must and should be 10 digits. Now save it, save the app, and let me go and click on the format, guys. You can format this code. Just go and click on format. Now see when I go and click on format, it is not allowing us to expand the formula bar. It is too much. Let me click on this. There is one more option, expand the formula bar. Now see here, guys, what I'm doing, the first one is the mobile data card must and should allow the digits. Must and should allow what? Digits. Just one second. It must and should allow what? Digits. And next one, the values you are going to enter in data card must and should be length what? 10 digits. The length of the value you are going to enter is 10. Now see, just save it and go and play. Now try to understand, guys. By default is not throwing any error. Now when I go and enter the value 94, 911 770 904. Now see, I'm entering my mobile number. Exactly, I'm entering the 10 digits case. So it is not throwing any error. Now if I enter any value exceeds 10 digits, now see, it is throwing one error message. What is that error message? Mobile number must and should be 10 digits. So you entering more than 10 digits. Let's say if I'm not entering 10 digits case, I'm entering only some 7 digits. Now see, here also it is throwing an error. What is that error? The mobile number must and should be 10 digits. So this type of validations you are able to perform. Now see, whenever I enter the characters into this field, it is throwing the message as what? Only numbers are allowed. Now when I enter the numbers, if the values I'm going to enter into this code, if the length is less than or less than 10 or greater than 10, it is throwing one more message. What is that message? Mobile number must and should be 10 digits. So if I keep here 10 digits, now automatically we are not able to see any error messages. So this is what I'm doing here, guys. So this is what another type of validation, mobile number validations. And next one is, there is one more field called age field. One more data code is there. What is the data code? Age. Now if you see, there is one more data code, that is what? Age. Now see, this age column is what data type? Age column is also a single line of text case. Now see, age column data type is age column data type is single line of text in the SharePoint. So single line of text means it allows both text and numbers. I don't want to allow the text, I want to allow what? Numbers here. Same validation here also. In the form, the age number, the age field, the age number field needs to allow only numbers. This is my first condition. First condition is what? Into the age data code, I want to enter only numerical values. I don't want any characters. And the second condition is what? The age must and should be, whatever the age you are going to enter, the employee age must and should be between 25 to 50 only. If the employee age is less than 25, I want to throw an error. If the employee age is greater than 50, here also I want to throw an error. So this is my second condition, guys. So first let me go and show you how to go and allow only numerical values into the age column. Same, however I am doing here, same thing here also, guys. Nothing will changes. So what I can do, go to this, just 1 second. Go to this. Now I'm having the age column. Now into this age field, I want to enter only the numerical values. Now see, right now it will allow the numericals and also it will allow some characters. I don't want to allow the characters. Whenever I enter the characters, it will throw an error message. So what is that? Now how I need to go and perform it, guys? So first of all, go and select the age data card. First unlock it, unlock the data card, and then go and select the age data code from here. Go and select the age data code from here. Select the age, expand it. Now go to the error message. Go to the error message. Now by default the error message is what? Parent dot error. Now I need to go and use one function here called coalesce. What is this coalesce function is do? I said that is going to run the non blank value. Now try to understand what is my first requirement here is, if I'm going to use one if condition, if the values you are going to enter into this data code value control, select this, copy the name, the values you are going to enter into this data code value control, that values must and should be numerical values. I'm not going to suppose to allow the text values. So what I can do, so let me go and use one function here. What that function is match. So I'm keeping one not function, guys, is not matching. So the values you are going to enter into this age field is not match with the match dot multiple digits, match dot multiple digits. Then I want to throw an error. What is that error? So let me go and keep that error message as whatever the error message is. Now I want to keep the error message as only age means either 20, 10, 30, 40. So let me go and keep here. What is that error message is? Only whole numbers, only whole numbers are allowed. Only whole numbers are allowed. No decimals, no decimals, comma, no characters. I don't want to allow the decimals, and also I don't want to allow the characters. So this is what the error message. When I want to throw this error message, whatever the values you are going to enter into this data card value, into which data card value, age, if the values you are not entering into this, see, not values, the values you are entering into this is not matching with the multiple digits, then I want to throw this error message. Then what I want to do, I want to throw this error message. Again it is throwing some error. If it is a function, if everything is fine. Just 1 second, let me check. Why it is throwing that error is here, I am not keeping the double quotes in the end, so that's why it is throwing the error. Now just go and save it, go and save it. Now play. Now see here guys, by default is throwing some error. Now see, whenever I go and enter the numerical values, now the error is gone. Whenever I insert the characters, now it is throwing one error. What is that error? Only whole numbers are allowed, no decimals and no characters. If I enter some decimal values also in this case also it will throws an error. So whenever you insert any characters, it will throws an error. Whenever if you insert any decimals, it will throws the error. But whenever you insert any digits, whole numbers, then in this case it doesn't throw any error. Now see, when I'm not entering any value also, it is throwing the error. Why? Because I'm not define that condition. So I want to define one more condition here. If this age data card is not blank, if it is not blank, then in this case also I don't want to throw this error message. So just go to this error message. I want to add one more condition here. Is blank, is not blank. If it is not blank, what is not blank? This data card. If this data card is not blank, if this data card is not blank, and if it is not satisfying this digit, then only I want to throw this message. Now see, go and save it, play. Now see, by default is not throwing any error message. Now see, whenever I go and enter any decimals, now see it is throwing the error message. And also whenever I insert any characters, it is throwing that error, it is throwing the error message. When it doesn't throw the error message, whenever I insert only whole numbers, then in this case it doesn't throws the any error message. So into this age data card, now I am able to enter only numbers, numericals. And next, what is my second condition, guys? The age must and should be greater than, that is, if it is less than 25, I want to throw the error. If it is greater than 25, I want to throw the error. So the age you are entering must and should be between 25 to 50. Now see, if I enter the age as 20, I want to throw an error. If I enter the age as 60, I want to throw an error. Why? Because the age is 50 here. If the age is 50, I want to throw the error. If the age is less than 25, less than 25, in this case also I want to throw an error. So the second condition I want to go and define here. So let me go and select this data card, go to the error message, and now try to understand what's my second condition is. So just go and keep comma, and let me use one more if condition. If this data card is not blank, if it is not blank, is not blank, and the values you are entering, the values you are going to enter into this data card, the values you are going to enter into this data card is less than 25, or this is the condition for or the values you are going to enter into this data card is greater than 50, then in this case I need to go and throw some error message. Case, what is that error message I want to display here is age must and should be, age must be, age must and should be age must be 25 to 50. So whatever the age you are going to enter, the age must and should be between 25 to 50. If it is greater less than 25, I want to throw the error. If it is greater than 50 also, I want to throw the error. So now see, by default the value I'm entering here is what? 60. It is throwing that error message. Now save it, save the app and go and play. Let me check. Now see here guys, I'm entering the age less than 25. Now see, when I enter the age is less than 25, now it is throwing the error message. What is that error message? Age must and should be 25 to 50. If I enter the age as 60, now see, now also it is throwing that error. When I'm not able to see this error, let's say if I'm entering the age as 30, now see, I'm not able to display this message. So the age, whatever the age you are entering, the age must and should be between 25 to 50. If the age is less than 25, it will throw the error. If the age is greater than 50, then in this case also it will throw an error. So this type of validations we are able to perform, guys. So here I'm performing some other validations. So what type of validations I perform here? Into the column, I want to insert into this field, I want to insert only what? Numerical values. Second one is what? The values you are going to enter is less than, must and should be between 25 and 50. If it is less than 25, I want to throw an error. If it is greater than 50 also, I want to throw an error. So this is the another type of validation. And next validation is I need to go and perform on the employee number column, guys. Now see, this employee number, there is one more field, that is employee number. Now this employee number is by default is required. It is required, and also it is unique. This column doesn't allow the duplicate values, no duplicates. And now what's my use case here is, what is the validation I need to go and perform here is, now see, in the employee number field, the first two values must and should be characters. The first two values must and should be characters, and the next four values must and should be numbers. That means into the employee number field, I want to insert only totally how many values? I want to insert only six values. In those six values, first two must and should be characters. Let's say the employee number I'm inserting here is AB 1234. This is the employee ID. So the first two characters is what? The first two values is characters, and the next four values is numbers. So totally how many values I want to allow into the employee number column? Only six values. In those six, first two must and should be characters. Any two characters it is. First two must and should be characters, and next four values must and should be numbers. So this is what my requirement is. So this is the example. So the employee number allows six values totally. Example is first two values must and should be characters, second next four values must and should be numbers. So I want to perform this validation. So first go and select the data card, employee number data card, unlock the data card first, unlock this data card. Now go and select the error message. Go and select the error message. By default is parent.error. I want to keep it as same. Now go and use the function called coalesce. Coalesce. Now I'm going to use one if condition here, guys. If let me keep here, is not blank, not blank, is match function, guys. I'm going to use the match function. The values you are going to enter into this data card value, employee number data card value, whatever the values you are going to enter into this, it need to match, it need to match with what? It need to go and match with the first letter must and should be, the first value must and should be what? Letters. So go and select match dot letter. There is one function called match dot letter, and use the concatenate. The next value is also what? The next value is also match dot letter. The first two characters must and should be letters, and then concatenate match dot digit. Next one I want to keep what? Digit. So how many digits I want to keep? Four digits. After the first two characters, next go and enter four digits. I'm keeping the two digits. Concatenate one more digit, concatenate one more digit. Now see, whatever the values I'm going to enter into this data card, employee number data card, is not matching with this pattern. First two must and should be letters, and the next four must and should be digits. So between these I'm using one operator. What is that operator? Concatenate. What is the use of this concatenate? It is used to combine the two string values. So now just close it. Now if this, whatever the values you are entering here, if it is not matching with this, then I want to throw an error. What is that error you want to throw? So let us say I want to throw the error message as first two characters must and should be first two values, let me keep it as values. First two values must be, must and should be characters, and next four values must be next four values must be digits. Must and should be digits. This is the error message I want to throw. Expand the formula bar, save it, expand. This is the this is what I want to do here, guys. If the values you are entering into this data card is not matching with this pattern, first two must and should be letters and next four must and should be digits. If it is not matching with this pattern, then I want to throw the error message. What's that error message? First values must and should be characters and next four values must and should be digits. Now just save it and go and play. Now see, by default is throwing the error. I don't want to show this error by default also. If you don't want to show the same, if you don't want to show this error by default, what I can do? So just copy it, copy this data card name. Now add one more condition here, guys. What's that condition? If is not blank, whatever the if the data card value, if the data card is not blank, is not blank, and also if it is not blank, and if it is not blank, and also if it is not following this pattern, if it is not following this pattern, then only I want to go and throw this error. Now see, go and save it and go and click on play. Now see, by default I'm not able to see any error message. Now see, when I go and keep here, first two has AB 1 2 3 4. Now see, first two letters is characters, next two must and should be digits. Now see, if I enter more than four, six values, totally how many values is there? Six values. If I enter more than six values, now also it is throwing that same error message. First two values must and should be characters and next four values must and should be digits. So it need to allow only six values. In those six values, first two values must and should be characters, the next four values must and should be numbers. Otherwise, if you change first values, if you keep here numeric, now see, it is throwing that error. Next you are keeping some text, and next you are keeping something like this. Now it allows means no, here the first two is not characters, the first two must and should be characters, the first two must and should be characters, and next must and should be four numbers, then only it will allows. So this is the validation I am performing here, guys. So what type of validation I am performing here? So whatever the values I'm going to enter into this employee name, into this employee name, all the values, whatever the values you are going to enter into this, those values, the values you are going to enter into this data card, it need to match with this pattern. What is this pattern? First two must and should be letters, next four must and should be digits. So if you want to keep how many letters you want to keep, you can keep those many letters. How many digits you want to keep, you can keep those many digits. So this is the another type of validation. Let me format this one, guys. Now when I format it, now you are able to see the code like this. If you want to format, you can format the code. If you want to remove the format, you can remove the format, but to go and add the format here. So this is what, how to go and perform the validation on this employee number data card. And next, there is one more validation I need to go and perform, that is on the email case. Now see, there is one data card, email data card. Now in this, now try to understand, I'm going to enter some random emails case. Let's say I'm entering some email ID, Venki @123. Now it is my email. No, email means what? Emails means it need to contain @gmail.com. Email means what? It need to contain what? @gmail.com. So I need to go and pass this validation, guys. I need to check whatever the email it is you are going to enter, that email contains the condition or not, @gmail. If it is matching with the @gmail, then only I want to allow, otherwise I want to throw the error. So let me go and perform that validation. The values I'm going to enter into the email data card, those must and should be in the form of email format. I want to keep those in the email format. Then only I want to allow. Otherwise, I don't want to allow them. So just select the email data card and then go to the error message property. Now by default is parent.error. Parent.error. Now go and use the coalesce function. Coalesce parent.error. Now I'm going to use one if condition here, guys. Come on. If whatever the values you are going to enter into this data card, which data card, email data card value, this is the name, just copy it. Whatever the values you are going to enter into this dot txt, the values I'm going to enter is txt. The values you are going to enter into this is not matching. Let me go and use one function here, guys. What's that function? Is not match. Is not matching what values? The values you are going to enter into the data card, email data card, is not matching with the pattern. What's that pattern? Match dot email. Match dot email. So whatever the values you are entering, if it is matching with the email, then only I want to allow them. Otherwise, I want to throw one message. What's that error message? Let me keep the error message as email. Email is incorrect. Whatever the email is you are entering, it is incorrect. Let's just close it. Oh, it is throwing the error. Let me keep here double quotes. Let me keep the double quotes. If I'm not keeping the double quotes, it is throwing the some error. Just keep in the double quotes. Now go and save it. Now see, by default, if I'm not entering any value, it is showing that error message. I want to show that error message by default. So what I can do? So I need to go and use one more function here. What is that? Is not blank. The values you are entering into this data card is not blank. So the values you are going to, if this data card is not blank and it is not satisfying this condition, then only I want to throw the error message. So just go and use the AND operator here. Now save it. It is throwing the error. Let me keep here the txt. Save it and play the app. Now see here, guys. By default is not throwing any error message. By default is not throwing any error message. Now see, when I go and enter the email ID, let us say I'm entering some random email. Now see, by default is throwing the error message, Warner at the rate I'm keeping at the rate 123. Now see, it is not Gmail format, but now see, when I keep here Warner at the rate gmail.com, now I am not able to see this. So whatever the email you are entering, if that email is in this format, if it is matching with this format, what format? Gmail format. So then I don't want to show any error message. If it is not matching with the Gmail format, then I want to show this error message. Email ID is incorrect. So please go and enter the valid email ID at the rate gmail.com. Now I'm not able to see this message. So this is one type of validation you are able to perform on the Gmail. Now see, I'm able to perform the same validation another way also, guys. I'm able to perform the same validation by using the checkbox. I'm going to use one icon, check icon. Let me show you that one also. So this is the one way. So if I'm not entering the valid email ID, it will display that error message. Instead of showing the error message here, I want to keep one icon here, icon, check icon, guys. So I want to, let me show you that one also, how to go and perform it. Select this, go to this insert tab, go to the icon. In this icons also, let me select the check icon. Let me select this one, guys, check icon. Select this one, keep it here, align it here, align it properly. Fine. Now see, select this one, select this icon, check icon. This check icon will have one property called icon property. Go to that property icon. Now by default it is icon.check. Now just remove it. Just remove it. Now what I can do here is go to this error message, copy the same thing. Uh, Copy the same thing here. From here to here, just copy it. Same validation I need to go and perform, guys. Just copy it. Go to the select the icon, go to the icon property. Now see, is not blank. If it is not blank, if and is not matching with the Gmail. Hmm. Now what is the error message I want to display? Not error message, I want to make that icon guess. If it is not matching, then what I want to do, I want to keep one warning message, icon dot warning, icon dot warning. If it is matching, then I want to show icon dot check, icon dot check. Simple. So previously I'm showing the warning message, but now I'm showing some icons, warning icon and check icon. Now see, just save it. Now see, by default it is showing the warning message. Why? Because it is not in an email format. Now when I go and keep here gmail.com, when I go and keep here gmail.com, now see the icon is check. But when I go and remove this Gmail, now see, showing some warning message. When this, it will give the tick mark. If it is matching with the Gmail format, then it will use the tick mark. So this is another type of validation. By using this I checkbox, check icon, you are able to perform it. Same, whatever the code I am writing here, whatever the code I am writing here in this error message, the same code I am writing for this one also. And there is one more way where you can go and perform the same validation. Okay, so what is the another way is, now see, the eighth use case is the same validation. If we are not entering the proper email id, then I want to, then the border color must and should be red. Now see, if I'm not entering the proper email id here, then the border color must, this border color has to be red. If I am entering the proper email id, email format, then it should be in the blue color. So I want to do another type of validation, guys. So what is that is, select this data code value control, select this control, go to the property called border property. There is some property called border color, there is one property called border color. Now see, by default is keeping some color. Just remove it, just remove this one. Now what I want to keep here is, if the error message, whatever the, if if this error message is displaying some value, so go and select the error message, copy this name. If this error message, if here I'm having some message, if it is if it is displaying something, then I want to make this one as red color, guys. So copy this name, copy the name, and then go to this border color. Now is not blank, is blank, not blank, it is blank. If it is blank, what is blank? The error message is blank. If the error message is blank, then what I want to display here is, I want to go with the parent dot border color, guys, parent dot border color. Otherwise I want to make it as red color. Otherwise I want to make it as what? Red color. Just save it, go and play. Now see, I'm not entering the proper email id, I'm not entering anything here. Okay, it is fine. But see, when I'm not entering the proper email id, when I'm not entering the proper email, see, if it is throwing some error, if it is throwing some error, if the error message is having some value, then I want to make this as red color. If the error message, if there is no error message, if there is no error message, then I want to keep it as parent dot color, normal blue color I want to keep. So there are different ways where you can go and highlight the colors, guys, or where we can go and do the validations. So here in this I'm showing the different validations. In the email I'm showing you the error message, displaying the error message using the check icon and keeping the border color as red. So these different ways where you can go and perform the validations. So these are the different types of validations you are able to perform on this forms case. These are called as field validations we discussed. So these are the different types of validations you can go and perform. So in the next class we'll discuss about form validations. So this is one form, right? So this is my form. Now in the form level also you are able to perform some validations. So what type of validations you are able to perform in the form, we'll discuss those in the next class, that is tomorrow. Fine, let me go and stop here today.